What was hugely hyped up but flopped? Fee Festival. Lol. I love that there was a Twitter account exposing the Fee Festival as a fraud for months leading up to the whole event. That guy on the Discovery Channel, who was going to get eaten alive by a snake. He didn't even effing do it, for Christ's sake. They still aired it, and pumped it up, like he was gonna do it. Now they got into it, and Snake started twisting his arm, so he called it off. It's like, what did they think was going to happen? You honestly didn't see something like this coming? Amazon Fire Phone. They have tried to erase that thing's existence from the internet, and I'm pretty sure all the people that worked on that team have been shipped to Antarctica. At least part of the problem has to be that they were only available on one network, I think AT&T. So you are already massively limiting your audience on an already new platform. I was looking to upgrade my phone right when they released and considered a Fire Phone, but I had Verizon, and you couldn't get them for that network. In retrospect, I suppose I dodged a bullet. End of the world in 2012. Pottermore. I was so excited, and now I haven't logged onto it since I was sorted. The one thing I always wanted from the Harry Potterverse was more context. They hyped Pottermore up as being about that. It would expand the world. It would tell us more backstories, more lore. I was really excited. Then it came out, and was pretty much nothing more than synopsis of the books. There's some extra information in there, but not a lot. I was so pissed. The Novell Offensive. It was hyped to win WW1 for France in 48 hours. Instead it was so bad that it started a mutiny, got Novell fired, and had casualty numbers an order of magnitude higher than expected. It was hyped to win WW1 for France in 48 hours. That's not accurate. Novell promised to French politicians that they could call the offensive off after the first 48 hours if it wasn't going well, to avoid the experience of previous endless battles which seemed to degenerate into meat grinders in which no strategic accomplishments were made. However, when the actual offensive started, he didn't stay true to his promise, and the battle degenerated into a meat grinder in which no strategic accomplishment was achieved. The GamePoint.com gaming console. It was hyped as a Nintendo Game Boy killer, complete with internet connectivity, in 1997. In reality, it was a shitty, underpowered PDA, but yes, I could dial into my local Unix cluster and check my email with it. I stumbled across mine in a box of old stuff a couple of months ago. Some fresh batteries, and it fired right up. Oh man. I was so hyped for this thing. I was having dreams about it. Then I got one. The ghosting on the screen makes basically anything that isn't a puzzle game completely unplayable. Those Sakagora $1 coins. I remember them being a huge deal when they came out when I was a kid. Then they just kind of went away. I still gather them when I can. I use them as tooth fairy coins when one of my kids drops a baby tooth. Also, the 3rd edition D&D Player's Handbook had an actual size illustration of a gold piece, which was the same size. The book also established that gold coins were 50 to the pound, and Sakagora dollars weigh almost exactly that. So they make great props for D&D money. The Arrogant movie. Cries in Dwarvish. I wanted Arrogant to become the next Harry Potter for Book 2 movie series, and was so devastated. I mean, young boy me loved it, and was just excited that it happened and enjoyed the spectacle of it. A couple years later, when I was aware enough to look at things critically, I rewatched it, and realized it was bad. I just rewatched it a couple months ago, and was effing heartbroken to see how bad it was. I'd totally forgotten. No, there was no such movie. Never happened. Video game. Aliens Colonial Marines. So bad they had a class action lawsuit. Thank God we as fans got Alien Isolation. Colonial Marines was so bad I never even finished it. I never even watched a playthrough of it. Alien Isolation was so damn good. I just remembered I bought Isolation on sale and never played it. Guess I know what I'm doing this weekend. Getting my period. I couldn't have wanted anything more when I was younger. My twin sister got it before me too. I was so pumped. It was going to change my world. It was going to make me popular and grown up and sophisticated. I was so hyped by all the tampon commercials and all the girls who started to carry purses. That was a surefire sign that you got your period. I'm writing this laying in a ball with a heating pad. I'm 39. This shit effing sucks and has always sucked. I was duped. Oh man. Back in my day, all my friends passed around "Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret." And we would pretty much have daily check-ins to see if anyone else got this. It was like a race to be grown up. Now, I'm done having kids, and quite honestly just tired of the whole bleeding out the vagina every 28 days for 5 effing days. It's a massive buzzkill, inconvenience, and yeah, just over it. Power glove. It sucked and I'll never forget it. I wanted one so bad, and begged for weeks. Finally my birthday was imminent, and it was understood that I could get one, but it would be expensive enough that I couldn't expect anything else. Didn't care. Power glove. So we're at Sears and I make sure to point it out to my mom, so she gets the right thing. You never know with parents and video games. An employee saw us looking the thing over, told us how terrible it was, and even said they had set up a kiosk to demo it, but then took it down because nobody could get the damn thing to work. I swiftly changed my mind about wanting a power glove and got a regular haul of presents instead. Thank you, anonymous Sears employee from 28 years ago. You saved me from making a horrible mistake. The XFL. He hated me. I remember watching that debut game and not having any clue as to what tone it would take, more so just expecting a clone of regular NFL games. Then when the announcer asked him, "Tell me about your jersey, why does it say he hate me?" His response, "Because he hate me." I was like 16 years old and even I was like, well, this isn't going to end well for anyone. Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's vault. Well, you have to give them credit for actually doing the whole thing live. A lot of people would probably check the safe before to make sure there's nothing there, or even but something sexy in the safe to make it interesting. The metric system in the US in the 70s. 4th grade they told us that we the kids of the future who were going to use the metric system in our classes from here on. They showed us the film strips and distributed special rulers without inch marks, and all our math class that year was metric system themed. It seems to me that the adults and teachers were the ones who couldn't grasp the concept of the metric system and abandoned it the next year. The reason metric failed in the US isn't because people couldn't handle it, it's that it was approached in a lazy way. When metric was introduced it was almost entirely alongside imperial units, and with no designated end date for when the imperial units would be removed. So people did what was easiest, didn't adjust, and then people got bored of pretending to push metric and stopped. It's the same reason dollar coins always flop in the US. We don't stop printing dollar bills. If you give people only one option they'll adapt. If you permit them to keep doing what they've always done it's insane to expect a change. 3D TVs. I worked at Best Buy at the height of the 3D TV models. Some customers would say it'll never last. I wanted to tell them how much I agree, but I needed the job. Strangest part was meeting the people who had never seen or even heard of 3D movies/TV. The reactions when looking through the display were priceless. Flip side, I worked with a guy in 2012 who told me he only exclusively watched 3D and could never go back. Wonder what he's watching now. Johnny Manziel. Are we done naming every Browns quarterback yet? I need a drink. If you take a drink for every Browns QB in the last 15 years, you would be dead. Google Plus, although maybe I just saw a stronger hype because I know a few people who work for Google. Remember Google Wave and Google Bus? Google Wave was basically Discord too early. Have you forgotten about the Segway already? It was hyped up to change the world. It truly did. The world of mall guards, that is. Amazon Prime Day. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Also yes, obviously both Prime Days were very successful from Amazon's perspective. From the consumer perspective, in my opinion, they were a load of crap yet at the same time a display of just how good Amazon is at harnessing consumer data to generate sales. Lots of actual good deals had very low available volume, while other sales could be debunked by using Camel and tracking prices. Also, as many people mentioned, Amazon did successfully use this data clean out their garage. Holy shit, yes. Every year it's hyped to hell, and every year it's just discounts on random garbage I don't want or need. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.